All right, example 3 of vertex form. Go ahead and graph it. So just like before, we're going to put in our A, H, and K. This time A is -2, H is -1, and K is 6. All right, so our vertex is our H value, -1, 6. The axis of symmetry equals our H value, which is -1. Okay, now since A is negative, this is going to open. Direction means open. So it's going to open downward. Okay, because A is a negative. All right, so because we have a -2 for A value, it's going to change it as far as our graphing here. So let's go ahead and look at those. So I asked y'all to remember 1, 3, and 5. So since A is a -2, we're going to multiply by -2 to every one of these numbers. So 1 times -2 is a -2. 3 times -2 is -6. And -2 times 5 is -10. So these numbers here we're going to use to graph. All right, so let's start with putting our axis of symmetry, which is x equals -1. So go ahead and put it down here. And since it's opening downward, I'll go ahead and label it up here. Let's plot our vertex, which is -1, -6. Excuse me, +6. Vertex. So -1, +6, right there. That's our vertex. All right, so what we're going to use with our new graphing ratios is negative just means we're going to count downward, and we're going to go, instead of 1 block, we're going to go 2 blocks. When we move it out, we always go out 1 block. That represents the x values. They're just going to move in increments of 1. So I'm going to go down 2, out 1. Then from that point, down 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, out 1. Okay. And then we don't have enough grid to do -10. So that's fine. We can just use these 5 points. Let's go ahead and connect the dots. All right. And then we can use our ratio to figure out the y values, or just, again, get the coordinates. So 6 away from +6 is 4. Excuse me, 2 away from +6 is 4. And then 6 away from 4 is -2. Okay. And then since it's a symmetrical, we will go ahead and continue the pattern the other direction. All right, so we have -1. These go by ones, -2, -3, then 0, and 1. Okay. So significant values, where x is 0, again, that's our y-intercept. And then roots is where our y's are 0, and that's going to happen between -3 and -2, and then between the x values of 0 and 1. Okay, so our domain, it's opening downward, does not affect the domain. The domain is still going to be all real numbers, and the range is affected, so it's going to be -infinity all the way up to +6. Okay, we'll describe the transformations here. All right, so first of all, we have reflect about the x-axis. Okay, it moves left 1 unit, and it goes up 6. Now they forgot to put another line, but we do have one more transformation, the 2. And then since 2 is bigger than 1, that's a vertical stretch by a factor of 2.